Hello, this is Infrastructure Leader Shankar Chandran here. I am here to share this short video about what in-process metrics are and how important it is for leaders to start thinking on these directions. Every leader, has his intentions to have successful operations, trying to manage his financials and trying to improve his productivity year on year. But it is also important for leaders to understand how to manage the so-called end-to-end process flow in a very seamless way and be able to predict the so-called the losses in the process immediately or at a faster pace. So for that, leadership should organize the flow in a certain way which will enable them to compute the process productivity at various stages, right? So what I'm sharing here is my strategy on how I've executed, an operational team in handling procurement of telephony services as well as IT services, especially in the area of ticketing, managing ticketing. Of course, things would be very different when handling different severities, but what I'm sharing with you is one view, but this can also be replicated to other areas. Now, in a standard workflow, you get your set of sequential processes, right? When you want to execute a process, you have a set of teams who does activity 1, passes them to activity 2 if they fail, and if these people cannot resolve, they pass it back to execution number 3, and if they succeed, they pass it back this side. Now, when there are multiple teams involved, at least within the same operations organization, if 3 people are going to be touching it, imagine there is an opportunity to measure the passing of the so-called responsibility. How successfully within an organization if people have the ability to pass hand off the tickets. We call this handing off tickets. If these people give lack of information to hand off, the possible probability of returning back and asking more questions would result in higher productivity. Similarly here, imagine this concept beyond a business unit and go into an organization which encompasses service assurance, service delivery, lifecycle managers, account managers, and the customer. If you have to increase this beyond with 7 stages, imagine what are the opportunities you have to embed a control measurement system to improve the end-to-end operational flow. Finally, what we are talking about is trying to achieve a service level objective, a service level accountability that you set for yourself as an SLA with the customer. Now, I'm giving you a technique here to measure purely with a financial value so that it brings some kind of clarity in your understanding. Now, let's say a process team 1 gets a cost of operating them per hour is about 300 rupees. And what they do is they execute most of them, but 20% of them, let's say, they are depending on team 2. Out of the 20%, the success rate was only 91%. They had 89% rejects. So what really happened is they spent 300 rupees and they spent 89% success, 91% success. But on the 9% cases, the cost of the rejects was 500 plus 300 and into 2, imagine, because this team has spent 500 rupees in identifying the flaw and sending it back. This team has spent time again trying to rectify it and send it back again for this team to complete. So this team has spent 2 times the effort on the 9%, same as this time. Similarly, if it repeats out here, if there was 2% rejects, then the cost of the 2% was 900 plus 4, 500, is 1,400 rupees for the 2%. Now, how do you think you're going to manage the whole thing out here is what I will explain to you in second slide. I would represent leadership view so that would force you to go back and bring some controls in place. So if you had 9% of rejects, which would mean that the cost of 9% of tickets, that is 9% of at the rate of 1,600, because it is 2 times 300 and it was 2 times 500, which turned out to be 1,600. Similarly, if you had 2% rejects, the cost of 2% of tickets for 2 times would be a combination of 3,600. Now let's take this 1,600 and divide by 300, which is about 5 times, right? So which means if you had controlled this productivity a much lower figure, your team 1 could have handled 5 more times work at the same cost. Similarly, here it was 7 times. So imagine how, although the productivity is 9% and 2% looks very tiny, the financial impact is huge. I'm showing you a finance view. So let's take a total ticket, let's take an assumption you got 1,000 tickets. As part of assumption, 9% of 1,000 was 90 and you multiplied it by 1,600, which turned out to be about 1,44,000. And similarly, 2% of 1,000 turned out to be 20, multiplied by 3,600, totals up to 72,000, 7,20,000. When you add up both these together, it turns out to be 2,16,000. But yeah, these are the losses, right? Or this was probably the cost of delivering your 9% plus 2%, 11%. But what is that you build customer on 1,000 tickets? You took 300, 80% of that was 2,50,000, and then 300 was this, and then so you totally build only 2,64,000. Out of that, you lost 2,16,000 because you lacked the ability to manage the unproductive process controls. Because you provided 2 maximum iterations. Imagine if you have to go through 3 iterations, you are running a very unproductive business. I think I'm trying to explain this financially to show that this 11% would actually sink your business. Alright? So that's what I'm saying. It's important the leaders should know what are those areas that you should control to minimize this impact so that you try to make revenue out of the billing component. Alright, so in summary, this was important to me because as a leader, when I had to manage my operations in the IT infrastructure business, I was sizing the organization based on number of devices and depending on the so-called iterations of the year contractual year, because it is believed that in the first year I would have more tickets, in the second year I would have a little less, in the third year the business will stabilize, and in the fourth year and fifth year I would transform to make it even more streamlined. But if my team is going to remain with these kinds of, without this in-process matrix, there is no way I would be a successful leader in planning the whole strategy of running this infrastructure business. So I used it, and effectively that's how I ran a successful business. And my request to each of the leaders is, don't look at the losses in terms of the percentage, try to convert that into a billable value to see what the amount looks like. And you may be surprised to see a big value that you will be actually going after. And that is why I would say it's important you look at it at a sub-process level to improve each of them so that you effectively would know what your success rates are end to end. So that is what I want to share with you in terms of my ability to share with you the in-process metrics that I have successfully embedded as part of my infrastructure practice. Thanks for being with me, and if you have any questions, kindly share that with me. Thank you very much.